Thank you. Thank you so much. So I wore all red today by accident. So for those in the back, I probably look just like a beard and some white shoes. All right. First of all, thank you so much for having me today. My grandfather actually graduated from City College, and this is my first time here. Yes. My roots here. So today is really special for me on a lot of levels. So thank you so much. So when we talk about work, and on the other hand, when we talk about the hustle, those things have a lot in common. For example, they both require long hours, intense focus, and innovative solutions to challenging problems. But for me, writing doesn't feel like my work. It feels like my hustle. Because when I'm working, I feel like this. Oh, no. Like this. Like I want to die. And when I'm hustling, I feel like this. Like I'm killing it, okay? So what's the difference? What's the difference? For me, the difference is when I'm writing, I achieve something called blissful productivity. This is a term I first heard from the game designer Jane McGonigal. And it basically says that humans are optimized when we dedicate our time and energy to meaningful and fulfilling work. The kind of work that makes us so happy, it pushes us to work even harder. And you can apply this to a full-time job, an academic pursuit, an extracurricular, a side project, a hobby, whatever it is. So the question is, how do we all achieve blissful productivity? And when we achieve it, how do we make it work within our busy lives? So today, I've got 8 ways to get started. Number 1, follow your fires. So when I was in high school, I was frustrated because I couldn't grow a mustache. I mean, I could physically grow a mustache. I've been able to do that since like 3rd grade. But I was frustrated because I wanted to grow a mustache because I thought it would be funny, but I also knew it would look terrible. And I didn't have an excuse. This was before the days of No Shave November and all that. So I came up with an excuse, and that was I chose a local charity, and I told my friends the more money they pledged to donate to the charity, the longer I would grow my mustache. I called it Stash for Cash. And they were way into it because they wanted to see me grow this terrible mustache. So what I did is I got really into it. I started hustling for pledges. I started getting other people involved and making announcements at school. The donations rolled in. Pretty soon I had 24 students and even some teachers growing their mustaches and racking up pledges. It was awesome. 6 weeks later, that charity got a substantial check, and I got the mustache I always dreamed of. It looked better than I thought it would have. The mutton chops, by the way, were just sort of a personal flair. I always wanted to look like an old-timey Civil War president, like a Jewish Millard Fillmore. Flash forward a few months, and I actually got into my dream college, which was really surprising because my test scores were not up to par. I found out later from the admissions office that the reason I got in is because of a personal essay I wrote about Stash for Cash. Ever since, writing and social change and, as you can tell, facial hair growth have been central to my life. At DoSomething.org, I get to do it every single day. But when I started Stash for Cash, I had no idea that it would lead to college or this amazing job. All I knew is that I had this little burning feeling, this little fire inside me that says, hey Ben, you should grow a mustache. So listen to those tiny feelings, those little inklings that percolate and swell and spark something within you. Follow your little fires, and they will light your path. Number 2, love your bad ideas. Okay, so it would probably be a bad idea if I were to say, I don't know, get on the table in the middle of a business meeting and start twerking. But then again, here we are, okay? I love bad ideas. I love bad ideas because every bad idea teaches you something and gets you closer to a good idea. I try to embody that mentality by practicing divergent thinking. What was that? Am I getting, you want to go back? Let me see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I know. Divergent thinking. This is the idea, this is the process of coming up with as many possible solutions as you can. You can go back later and do convergent thinking, which is taking all of your ideas that you came up with and coming up with the best solution. So when you're ideating, cast a large net. If you're working independently, a lot of creatives recommend doing stream of consciousness free writing in the morning. In a group setting, there's some amazing techniques out there for running a super productive, energetic, divergent brainstorm. It's like you only need 10,000 bad ideas, and then you can have one good one. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's like meeting the man of your dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? All right, sing it if you know it. Alanis Morissette. Still relevant. Maybe not. Okay. Number 3, just do you. So B. Arthur. By the way, I wonder what would happen if I stepped off this dot. It's like hot lava. Oh, it's okay. All right. B. Arthur, not the actress from The Golden Girls, which is another old-timey reference, the therapist and entrepreneur, gave this wonderful talk about what she calls the culture of comparison, which basically says that the more we compare our lives and our accomplishments to those of others, the worse we feel about ourselves. So don't get caught up in everyone else's rat race. Run your own race. For example, I can't keep up with all the beautiful filtered selfies online, so I do this. I don't want to brag, this is #NoFilter, and you can see what I did here. I found my light. Don't set yourself up for failure by comparing yourself to the unrealistic standards of other people. Just do you. Some will argue there's no such thing as a creative thought, but there is an original you. You are the only one who owns your identity and your struggle and your narrative. If you want to do something great, if you want to do something unique, look inward. Everything you do for the world will start as something you want to do for yourself. Take it from her, even if you don't take it from him. Or him. Or him. Number 4, find your safe space. So I want to explore speaking of safe space, how far does this go? Okay. I just love to explore the space here a little bit. Thank you. Okay. One of the best ways to get into a great creative headspace is to be intentional about your physical space. So what are the places that stress you out? And what are the places that make you comfortable? What are the places that inspire you and stimulate you? And what are the places that just make you mad? Here, I'm mad because my Tinder date showed up 20 minutes late, and she had the audacity not to apologize. So let's say you come up with a great idea or have a great meeting or get into like an awesome flow state. After that moment, sometime when you're removed, lead yourself through some self-reflection. Where were you? What time was it? What was the lighting like? What did you eat? And had you worked out before? What were you wearing? All these questions are really important because there's something that's always going to be mysterious and inexplicable about where ideas and inspiration come from. But the more discerning and intentional we can be about putting ourselves in those ideal environments, the better chance we have of catching that creative magic that can be really, really elusive. So find yourself a creative safe space. In the game of ideas, it helps to have home court advantage. 5, clean your fridge. Okay, so this is a photo of my girlfriend and me. Pretty cute, right? At least the half that she's in. Yep. Whooping, yes. Whooping for monogamy. Thank you. So as someone who likes to take bad selfies, I used to be way into Snapchat. But then filters came out and things got really ugly. This is our first face swap. Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But what was worse is how distracting Snapchat turned out to be for me. I knew I would spend all my time face swapping and giving myself a flower crown and turning myself into a deer that's like pumped full of helium or whatever that one is. So I had to straight up get rid of my Snapchat. Now, I'm not telling you to get rid of your Snapchat or to like punt your phone into the Hudson. But I am saying that if we all did an audit of the way we spend our time online and off, if we all gave a really critical eye to the things that build us up versus the things that keep us stagnant, we could probably get rid of a lot of stuff. At Do Something, we have this communal fridge where all the staff keeps their food. And after a few weeks, it starts to stink with people's like old brown guacamole and like the Technicolor soup that was once an M&M McFlurry. Like, it's gross. So we host my favorite event, which is called the Fridge Toss. And our office manager opens up the fridge, and I get to hear her catchphrase. She goes, "Gotta go," as she throws away like all the old, smelly crap. The Fridge Toss is so liberating and so cathartic that we've started to apply that to our tasks and our meetings at work. So lead yourself through a proverbial fridge toss. When you think about the way you spend your time, what are the things that are important and should stay versus the things that have got to go? What's next? Squat up. So, yes. So in the same way we should be intentional about the way we spend our time and our physical space, let's also give a critical eye to our relationships. So think about the people who support you and the people who allow you to be the most authentic version of yourself and the people who allow for the most honest expression of your ideas. In other words, these are the people who will play along. These are my sisters and my brother-in-law and my niece on a very typical Kassoy family vacation. We take old-timey photos and play board games. That's what we do. Whether you're talking about mentors or collaborators or friends or even just acquaintances, think about the people who show a real care and investment in what you're doing. The people who will ask you questions and look you in the eye and nod along and show that they're interested. These are the people who give you feedback when you need it and the people who give you validation when you need it. These are the people who give you life-affirming energy. For me, that means people like my niece, because she likes to party. For those in the back, that is my 1-year-old niece reaching for a bottle of moonshine. We brewed it home. Okay, 7, give it a name. So I lied, I don't actually like to party. But I do like to name parties. One year, the theme of my birthday was snapbacks and flapjacks. My roommate made pancakes, everyone wore hats, and we stuck a pancake to the door. My old roommate was here. This pancake was stuck to the door for approximately 3 years, and we still got our security deposit back. So that's one. It's gross. It's really gross. It works if you have to fry one side, and then the raw side goes on the door. Anyway, again, we'll save it for another talk. Now, I love naming our campaigns at DoSomething.org. We have a financial literacy campaign called Spend Your Cheddar Better. We have a game where you have to use reading comprehension skills to solve a mystery. That one's called Context Clues, English major, very highbrow. And then my personal favorite, our anti-smoking campaign called Pack That Ash Up. Whatever you're working on, give it a name. A name gives context. A name gives weight. A name gives identity to your hustle and helps truly bring it to life. Heck, I even like to name stuff that will never be brought to life and should never be brought to life. Like my idea for an Outcast-themed restaurant called Entree 3000. See you there. See you there. It's my next career. 8, play on, player. So when I was in preschool, my teacher called my mom and said, "Mrs. Kassoy, have you seen what Ben is wearing to school today?" And my mom said, "Yeah, I mean, I dropped him off at school today." And my teacher goes, "So you're aware that his face is painted and he's pretending to be Batman?" And my mom goes, "Yes." And my teacher goes, "So then you're also aware it's school picture day?" And my mom goes, "Listen, is there a problem? Because I really need to get back to work." If you yes. For those in the back, if you haven't quite found me yet, there he is. There's our guy. There's our guy. Neoteny. Neoteny is our ability to remain childlike even as we age. Is it up there? I never trust that it's going to work, but it's worked every time. I'm like, is it there? Yeah, okay. Because I'm doing it. It's amazing. Technology. Neoteny is our ability to remain childlike even as we age. It's the reason, for example, that we still love Halloween, because we get to dress up and act like we're 6 years old. Neoteny serves our capacity for imagination and creativity and whimsy and wonder and inhibition. Maybe a sign of adulting, as we call it, is our ability to work. Neoteny, on the other hand, is our ability to play. And we need to play. We need to play not just, oh, it's there. We need to play not just for our sanity and for our emotional health, but because play helps us get stuff done. I think when we talk about blissful productivity, we're really talking about work that feels like play. And it's that sense of play that fuels the hustle. So follow your fires, love your bad ideas, just do you, find your safe space, clean your fridge, squat up, give it a name, and play on, player. If you do these things, you give yourself a chance of finding your hustle and falling in love with your hustle and making your hustle work. And if you make your hustle work, you'll do things you never thought possible. I can't wait to see what you all will do. Thank you very much. Thank you.